I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the former Challenge Tour and Development Tour title winner, Berry Van Peer. Thanks for the time, Berry. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for letting me join on your podcast. And it's good to be here, finally.
Yeah, great to have you on. And firstly, we're talking at the start of a week that you make your long-awaited debut on the European Tour. How much are you looking forward to going to Munich this weekend?
I can't describe that. I think it's taken me roughly 5 years or something to finally get over a finish line. Lost some finals for that one, so I was very happy to qualify. And like I said, I can't describe how excited I am to finally be part of the European Tour.
Well, we'll come back to the European Tour later, but let's circle back to the start for you in darts. How did you first get introduced to the sport? How old were you then?
I was probably a year or like 11 or something, or 12, maybe a little bit younger. My parents always played, my brother played, so kind of got naturally into it. And yeah, I kind of picked it more seriously up after I turned like 13, 14. Started playing some tournaments locally, and me and my brother just went, nuts. We just went everywhere at some point, national rankings after some years. And then it all began. After the national rankings, obviously I got my tour card, so that was quite a big step from national ranking to Pro Tour, of course. So yeah, now we're, 12, 14 years old.
Well, one of your first breakthroughs I got to mention was the Development Tour in 2015. And I think you won on the first day playing on the tour, winning the second event of the day, dropping just 5 legs. How special was that day?
Well, I was not really knowing what to expect at that stage. I was just there as a new guy, seeing how everything went. And I think I remember it correctly if I say I lost to, I think, Aiden Kirk or Jamie Lewis that day, and like last 32. I was like, okay, well, I'm satisfied. I won some prize money. Like, I was happy with that. I was playing well. And then the second tournament, I went nuts. I just played so phenomenal, and everything went in, and I just won the tournament. I was like, oh, I won? Oh. I didn't even realize it that quickly. Yeah, it was a very big step for myself, for my confidence. It just skyrocketed. So it was a very, proud moment in my career.
And I was looking back that year, 2015, it was a busy year for you, not just the Development Tour. We also saw you play out in Japan. You made the final of the Japan Open. You also played a bit of soft tip as well, making an appearance in the World Stage events. What are your memories from that time?
It was quite a busy year, actually. I had all the time to travel, of course, because I wasn't a complete pro or anything yet, so the schedule wasn't that busy. Well, going to the Development Tour was the first one. Of course, I won 2 tournaments, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm confident this year. Like, I feel really good. I can go anywhere and probably do well. So I went to Japan, got to the final over there. It was also a nice achievement, of course. Lost to, quite famous Japanese player, of course, Seigo Asada, which is a good friend of mine as well. And then, like you said, soft tip as well. I went to Chicago that year as well for soft tip, and then just pretty much traveled anywhere really. Played soft tip mostly, and then Development Tour was the first priority, of course. But if I did have my time, I would just travel to Spain or to Japan or America. So it was a lot of fun that year, a lot of enjoyment, and I think that's very important to have in darts. So.
And as you mentioned earlier, at the end of that year, you were to become a PDC Tour Card holder. Bradley Kirk turned down his Tour Card. You were the next highest eligible on that Development Tour order merit. What was that moment like when you found out the news?
I kind of, from a feeling, like I started the season off like so good that I probably put too much pressure on myself afterwards. I was like, okay, I might have a good chance at getting one. And then I kind of just dropped at the end of the season. Like, everyone was just catching up to me and passing me. And he was playing really, really good that year. It was insane to watch sometimes. And I don't know what happened in his mind that he didn't want it. He just said he wasn't ready. Obviously, I'm not gonna say no myself, but like I thought he was ready. I thought, but yeah, my chance just got served to me on a plate, so I grabbed it, and yes, just felt great to have it. Kind of unexpected, of course. So yeah, makes it kind of a little bit nicer, but of course, unfortunately for Bradley, of course.
Well, at 19, you're now playing on the Pro Tour, going up against the world's best players week in, week out. How did you find that experience of stepping up to play on the professional circuit that year in 2016?
Well, I was always so motivated to play like people I always saw on the telly, and then yeah, you get into that tournament, you just look around in the venue, you're like, okay, this is some serious stuff going on here. Who am I in this venue? I just knew if I just play my game and don't mind who I'm playing, I should be like good. But of course, they are mostly all of them were better than me. That's how I was playing, or that's how I thought. Let's just say that. And I think in my first ever weekend, I actually reached the quarterfinals of the UK Open qualifier, losing to Simon Whitlock, and I just felt like, okay, maybe I do belong here with this level. We'll just have to see the rest of the season how that goes. So I was nervous, but I kind of surprised myself in that first weekend already.
And another highlight I've got to mention from that year as well is the run to the World Youth Championship final. What was the build-up like? Because back then the tournament, it'd be played down to the final and then there'd be a 5 or 6 week break before you'd play the final. What was the build-up like in getting ready to play in that final?
To be fair, when I reached the final on the floor, I kind of felt like if I can just play the final today, I just felt like I was going to win it. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but I was just like, I'm in the mood for that right now. I'm just going to win. And then I already knew, of course, I wasn't going to play that day, which is fine. But the weeks after that, I kind of, just prepared the same I did with every tournament. And I felt like it actually took too long for me to, like, get ready. I would have preferred it was like a week after or 2 weeks after maybe. But yeah, on the stage it just didn't go right for me, and Corey just played like a maniac. He was playing really well, and yeah, I felt like I just didn't show up. So that's unfortunate, but it's the worst time you can have, of course. But still a good achievement.
Definitely, and although the result didn't go your way that night, the run did get you into the Grand Slam in 2017, and it's a tournament which many of our listeners will remember you from as you battled with dartitis on the stage. How hard was it to play up there that week in Wolverhampton?
Of course, I'm like quite known for that. Unfortunately, well, I knew before the tournament that I was like in the protest. I was already like not having a good time. And then I was traveling towards the Grand Slam. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go there and just play, even if it's like a 50 average. I don't care what it's going to be. I'm just going to be there and participate. And if I feel good, I'll play better, and we'll just see what happens. And I don't know, it was nerve-wracking. It was, mentally very tiring and destroying me. It takes a lot of energy to just go up there and do your thing normally. And with, adding what happened, of course, is even worse. So mentally, I was just drained after every single day. And yeah, of course, I passed the group. I went to the last 16th. And I don't know how I did that, but yeah, it's crazy times.
Yeah, I mean, you should take a lot of credit from what you were able to achieve that week. I mean, as you say, you won through the groups. You won 2 last leg deciders against Simon Whitlock and Cameron Menzies to go through with Gary Anderson. And the match with Cameron, we saw the emotion from you. The crowd were behind you as well. It was an emotional moment watching. What are your memories of that moment in particular?
When the first time I played with Simon, I don't think anyone understood what was happening. People also like kind of just booed me, and they didn't have a clue what was happening. Which is, well, it's terrible if you're standing there, of course, but it's what happens. And then I won the game, and I was like, okay, well, at least I won this. I'm just happy to win it, but not in the most fashionable way, I guess. And then with the game with Cameron, it was just a roller coaster. Like, I was actually playing pretty good. I was, I don't know, like 4-2 up or something. I was like, okay, like this is kind of looking good. And then it just started getting worse and worse for my feeling. I would have preferred, of course, if I would just stand to the hockey right away and just throw my dart and boom, double, and we're done. But it wasn't. It just didn't happen, and the crowd was like helping me, of course. And then when you hit the double, it's just you just break down, and he broke down as well. So it was kind of very emotional. Like I said, it was just a roller coaster of emotions and all of that. And yeah, when you win, of course you're happy, but I don't think I was that happy actually.
Well, we did see you on the main stage at the UK Open last year, and the throw looked a lot smoother. What work or methods did you use to overcome the dartitis, and how would you assess your game right now?
Well, the first few months, of course. Afterwards, it's still really tough to like get something going. You don't want to practice much because you're afraid of stuff. And what I mostly did, I found out with my physio as well, that my muscles were all very much like in knots. So I couldn't really stretch out my muscles that much, which was also kind of not helping me a lot. So we started doing dry needling sessions, which is just like making the knot disappear, like solve itself. And then I kind of felt already like it was helping a lot. So I got confidence out of that. I knew that was going to help me. And then I just had to change my throw. I had to change mentality. Like, I just have to think about stuff that don't even make sense at darts. Like, just distract my mind. And then, well, I think most of it was just confidence at some point. Like, when you start seeing you're playing better again, you just feel, okay, this is the positive way. We should keep going like this. Yeah, and then eventually you have to build on that, and every single step you take is gonna help you go through it. And yeah, where I'm at now, I still have some tics left, which is kind of annoying me as well as probably more people, I guess. But I'm trying to do my best to be faster every time, because I'm a fast player normally. I'm faster than most players, I think. Just when the tics happen, I'm not the fastest on the planet. But I feel like I'm going in a good direction. So if I just keep going like I'm doing now, like the last couple of weeks, I'm doing better and better. So I guess there's a very good positive place for me now. And last weekend I was doing good as well, like pretty fast and playing good. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, we can see the work that you're putting in is paying off. And since the Grand Slam, of course, you've won another couple of development tour titles. You've won a challenge tour title, and we had a long break because of the pandemic. But when the development tour came back, the 4 consecutive semi-finals on the development tour to get that tour card back, how proud were you of that weekend?
Yeah, it was an absolute crazy weekend. I was actually around the top 5 of the ranking or something, and I knew other people could still win a tournament and come close to me, and then I still had to win more money than them afterwards. So what happened was some of my good friends, they both won their first development tour, so they also reached on the top of the rankings, and then I reached a semi in the meantime. I was like, okay, I'm happy. And then another semi, I was like, okay, that's nice. I think I actually, one of the matches was like 5-4, and I was like so disappointed that I lost that. And then the next day, I also reached another semi. I was like, okay. There's a good chance if I just keep this up, I might make it. But I'm still depending on what another person will do. So me and Damien Mol, actually my my roommate nowadays and the practice partner, everything. Me and him were battling it out for the final spot, like the final tournament. And all I had to do was just go one round in front of him and I'll have it. And well, I reached the semis and he lost 16 or something. So yeah, it was just, I cried, of course. I was so happy to be back. But it was just like, yeah, it was pretty insane actually. I was, for semis, I was like, I never did this before and win tournaments before, but losing 4 semis kind of hurts. But I was very happy with those 4.
Yeah, it definitely made a difference, didn't it, getting that tour card back? And of course, last year, another semi-final run, this time on the Pro Tour in Germany, and just getting on to this year, and already you're making strides qualifying for a European Tour event for the first time. And I must admit, I don't think I was the only one surprised to hear that you hadn't played in one before.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's been so many years already that I didn't qualify because normally we always had to travel to Germany, and I didn't always play in all of the tournaments because I just picked them out. Okay, these ones are not like 8 hours drive, then I'll just go there. And yeah, I lost quite some finals to Vincent, Dimitri, Romunekamp, Jermaine. You know, they are very experienced players. They have been on the stage so many times. And I just lost a couple of finals, 6-5, 6-4. And then it just never wanted to go my way. It's just always they just, on the final leg or something, they just go like 12 darts or something like that. And yeah, there was not really much I could do about it except just playing my leg and not getting a chance. So I kind of got into my head. And yeah, then this year I just qualified for one and then another one and another one. So yeah, you see what happens. You just win one and you kind of feel, okay, I can do this again. And now it's 3 instead of 0.
Happy days. And of course, part of the European Tour experience is that you get that walk on in front of the crowd. And I was going off your Wikipedia page, your walk on song is Unseen by Dimitri K. Out to listen to it. It seems to be a similar taste to Dirk van Duijvenbode and Jules van Dongen. Is that still your walk on?
Yeah, but I actually have been thinking about it. Like, okay, let's just make this clear. Like me and Dirk, for example, we listen to the same type of music. I'm not sure who's like listening to harder ones. It doesn't really matter. It's his like music. I like it. I go to festivals as well. Like I enjoy it, but I kind of want to use it. But there's so many songs, you know. There's like a swear word in it. I can't use it. There's this in it. I can't use that. It's very picky, you know. So I actually let people vote in my like family and my friends and like everyone I knew. Like, which song do you prefer? And I actually probably not gonna walk home with hardcore music, just because the crowd will either like it or they will hate it. So I might just walk on with Danza Kuduro. That's been voted by people, so it's a very big difference, I know. But yeah, I'm having light doubts about it still, but I don't think it will be hardcore. And if it does, I'm sorry for the crowd, but I have to.
Well, it's your choice, isn't it, of course. And recently, we also saw your brother play on the Pro Tour, getting that call up via the Challenge Tour, All Demerit as a top-up player. What was it like having Carlo with you for that weekend?
Yeah, it's amazing. I remember a few days before the Pro Tour, I got a text from my manager saying, yeah, your brother can also play this weekend. And I was like, I texted him like, hey, you can play Pro Tour. And he was like, oh, for real? I was like, yeah. Oh, But he had made plans for that weekend. And I was like, you better just take your chance because you never know if it's going to happen or not after this. I was like, yeah. So he canceled all his plans and we made the trip to Germany, and he actually won a game as well. So it was very awesome to see that as well. Like he got a lot of recognition. People just saying like, "Okay, yeah, good to see you here." And we were the 4th pair of brothers ever on the PDC tour, I think. So that's actually pretty cool. First Dutch brothers as well. So it's a lot of things you can think of that are actually pretty awesome to experience. So I was really happy, and I hope he can come back there again.
And lastly, back to you and back to this weekend. And when we're talking, we don't know the draw yet for Munich, but you're going to be making that debut. What's the plan between now and then? Are you going to be getting much practice in before? What does the rest of the week look like ahead of the big debut?
Today, I don't think I'm going to practice. I've been playing all weekend, of course, and then the trains didn't go to my hometown. So I was home very late and had to work as well. So I'm pretty tired. But from tomorrow on, me and my brother will probably practice a couple of hours a day. And then I leave on Thursday or Friday to Munich. So I think I have like a couple of days of nice practice. Maybe just go to another friend of mine practice. So I'll just have to see. I don't have exact plans, but I just have to do my same thing that I do the last couple of months. So.
Well, I hope the rest of the week goes well for you. Wish you all the best for your European Tour debut this weekend, and of course the rest of 2022 as well. Hope it all goes well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it a lot.
Good.
Thank you for having me.